We'll see the recording light, right?
Yep, it's recording now.
All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for being here for the audit committee meeting for the IDA. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Rose, roll call.
Diane Einen,
Here.
Faye Storms,
Here. Here.
and Michael Ham.
Here.
Great. Have a quorum. Thanks, Diane.
Sure. We're going to move the agenda a little bit. We have guests with us. Kevin Loki, hi. Thank you for being with us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yes. This group had a few questions, in particular one of our committee members, Rick, a little bit about the reports that you send and just how numbers are gathered, and a few other related questions. So Rick, why don't I turn it over to you?
Yeah, thanks, Diane. Morning, Kevin.
Morning, Rick.
So I don't have the specific report in front of me, but I think it's true of all the reports that we've gotten, or at least the last 3 or 4 months. And my question was, I hadn't really thought about it before, is the number of hours. They're in the hundreds. So that would suggest what you're doing is you add up, well, I guess it was hours, either that or persons. You add, I think it was persons.
Persons, correct.
You add up the number of persons there throughout the month and give us the gross figure.
Correct.
Okay, all right. So at any point, so how do you establish that again? From which?
So basically, the monthly reporting numbers that I give you, which give you the overall compliance, is basically the weekly head counts that are submitted to me on a weekly basis from Innis at this point. So basically, they have a head count of the total local number and the total out of area. So those are added to a spreadsheet, which is how we get you the overall compliance total, which is currently right here with the most recent labor report at 79.72%. And then basically my on-site inspections are meant to validate their numbers. So when I perform my actual site inspections, I'm going into the field and actually auditing all the labor on the project, any new contractors that come aboard to make sure that they are in fact, where they say they're from. And that basically validates their reporting that they send to me. So that's the purpose of my actual on-site physical audits.
Okay, quick question. Are you going off of daily logs or weekly logs, just in case there's no redundancies here?
It's off weekly logs.
Okay, so there can be an issue there, correct? I mean, a guy may be there 1 day or 2 days, and then he's not there 2 more days. And I guess what I'm getting at is what apparatus is in place for a guy who may come 2 days, be gone 2, and then come back in. Are they counting him as?
So everyone has to go through the trailer, the general contractor's trailer, where there's a sign-in sheet, and actually outside of the trailer, there's like a little box that they have that's secured for in the winter and everything, so it doesn't get lost. But everyone has to go in and sign that sheet when they come in. Everyone has to do a safety orientation with Baxter, which is what they do. And that's how they're auditing the on-site labor to get those numbers. So they get daily totals, and basically that goes into their weekly spreadsheet, which comes to me. Could there be mistakes made? Naturally, sure, that could happen. But again, that's the point of us actually going to the job sites as well to make sure that there's some validity in what we're being sent.
I think one of the questions was, and unless I'm mistaken, was they just wanted to know what your vetting procedure is. So you've been pretty clear about it.
Sure. You mean like when I actually go to the job site?
Yeah.
Well, how you get the count is all my concern.
Well, in addition to that, if I may, I understand how you get the count. How do you determine, and again, you probably described it to us a while ago, that they're actually local? What You're looking at licenses? You're looking,
Correct.
what are you
Correct.
looking
When I
at?
go to the job site, for example, the first visit that we did, I had to get every single person on the job site. So we're checking on their driver's license. If they don't have a driver's license, then I will look for a pay stub as long as it's current and reflects where they live, or I'll take a utility bill or something of those, means, but primarily driver's license, which is what most people do have. I was on site, for example, last Thursday and did an inspection there. And some of the guys, they have a new company called Leonardson that I went to get. Two other guys didn't have stuff. So, for example, the next day, the GC provided me copies of their driver's licenses are sent to me that way. So that's how I'm actually auditing the labor, is physically talking and checking with each of the workers on the site.
So you're only doing it on that day that you're on site. How do you?
That's correct.
Which
Which is every
what-
other month.
So what about all the other days that they're there? How do you check? How do you check in totality?
You can't do that.
Yeah, he can't. If you remember, we had them switch from, they normally do monthly checks, but we
Correct.
had them switch to bi-monthly to lower the cost.
With Monroe County, we do all the jobs twice a month. With Orange County, Todd and Montgomery, we're doing basically once a month inspections on all of their projects. I mean, obviously, since my visits are so infrequent, yes, it's difficult to, I guess, be as accurate or be on top of them as would be probably useful. But that's why I'm as thorough as I can when I go to Innis, for example, because I am only there every other month. So I'm trying to be a little extra diligent when I go to those projects.
So just
You don't
real-
announce when
real
you're gonna
quick,
be there.
Essentially,
Correct.
is Baxter signing off on an affidavit that everything they're presenting you to the best of their knowledge? Because they're gathering the information,
That's
not
correct.
the individual subs. So when
That's
it's all
correct.
said and done, they're signing off on an affidavit that what they gave you is correct to the best of their knowledge?
Yes,
Okay, I'm fine. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Any other
Okay.
questions, Rick?
Yeah, that's great. It reinforces what Kevin probably told us quite a while ago.
Yeah, it's over a year now, so it's been a
Yeah.
long time.
Well, this is
Just to
helpful for me.
refresh on that.
Yeah.
So
Does
and
anybody
you
go
don't
over,
announce when you're gonna be there, right?
That's correct. All the inspections are at random.
Okay.
Mike, you had a question?
Yeah, so are we keeping up to date on all their workman's comp paperwork also?
That's correct. I have everything: general liability, commercial auto policy, workers' compensation, and New York State disability benefits. And all of their stuff is current right now. I have a running spreadsheet that basically will let me know when documents are expiring within 30 days. I give that to Danielle, who works for Baxter, and she makes sure I get everything before it's expired. If I have any issues where it's, I've asked several times, then I will speak to Rose about that. But so far, we haven't had any real issues with them. They've been pretty compliant.
Okay.
do you go
Uh,
over payroll? Do you go over payroll to compare?
I do
employee-
not go over their payroll, no.
I did want to say, when Brooklyn Bottling closed out, because that's the only one we've had close out so far, they provided us with a binder, and I think I had sent it to you guys at that point. But in the binder, there's copies of the insurance certificates, literally, like he said, everything from workers' comp to auto.
Right. And as soon as Innis is completed, you'll get another closeout binder from this project that has all the insurance information, all of my inspection forms, communication application, all those things. It's basically a summation of the project and where they stand from a labor standpoint. And if there's anything that you'd also, like me to
One
do.
last quick question.
Oh. It's him, not me, right?
I think we lost him.
He's frozen.
He had this problem last time too. I don't know.
He's not muted. He's frozen.
Yeah.
So when is Innis gonna
One
be
quick
finished while
question.
we're waiting?
If they have any-
Oh, Jimmy, you're back. Go ahead.
Okay, just quick question on the insurances, because I'm guaranteeing you there's people there that are 1099s. What's happening with that?
So if we have a suspected 1099 violation, then that's something that we can report. But I mean, I haven't run into it yet, because usually whenever I've had an issue where someone hasn't had a driver's license, they send me the pay stub for that individual. And if I'm getting an actual pay stub, that would suggest to me the individual is not 1099. Do you have a suspicion of that on this project?
Oh, what I'm telling you is I would just about guarantee you, and regardless of what the pay stub is, somebody was a 1099 working for Bob Baxter, and that could just be.
I hear you.
Jim, freeze again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Differences. Just if it was something you ever thought of, or maybe if it's something that you just a simple, each one of these working for the contractor, because theoretically, if you're a 1099, you're independent, but you are.
Okay.
I think we got the
That's
gist.
the big problem in the state of, I'm just going to finish. That's a big problem in the state of New York because unreported income, liability issues later on. So, I wouldn't want to see the incentivize the owner of the project, have it tossed back on him because a contractor comes in and he's insuring 5 people and there's another 12 there that are actually 1099s.
Mhm.
That's all.
Rose, when is that, or Kevin, when does it appear that Innis will be finished?
I'm sorry?
When does it appear that Innis will be finished with their project?
It looks like May. The cabins, the units of cabins are pretty much all complete. They're expecting the hotel to be done by end of March. And then there's going to be some other work as well with the restaurant. I was in the restaurant recently. The restaurant should also probably be done by around the end of March. But then there's some other grounds work that's being done, maintenance areas and things of that nature. So I would guess probably May if the schedule moves along as they're expecting.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate you coming today.
Sure. And again, if there's any other things you'd like me to include in my reports going forward or things you'd like me to look for, as you're mentioning with 1099 violations, again, that is something that we pay attention to here in Monroe County too. Generally, when a guy says, hey, I'm from Joe Schmo company or whatever, you never heard from them before, generally that kind of raises the flag when it comes to a 1099 possible violator. So then we start to ask questions about which company are you working for, how much you're getting paid. And then that kind of gets into, work we're doing when it comes to prevailing wage stuff with Rockland as well. But it is something that we can certainly,
I think it's important in this as well. I think you're missing where I'm coming from anyhow. I'm not talking about a 1099 violation. I'm talking about the contractor, not who's in there, you're getting the information from, not declaring that these are independent subcontractors. And therefore, there can be insurance issues, liability issues, and it's probably something that, audit and governance can kick around, but it's something maybe we might want to take a look at. There's a certain reason why these contractors can do a job for a third less than other people. Because the general contractor is not responsible for the liability and all that on all his 1099s. Theoretically as subs. So it's not a minor issue.
All right. So that's something that Mike and or I can talk about further, looking at our practice here and what we want to do potentially around this. Okay. Thanks, Jimmy.
Thanks, Kevin.
You're welcome. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks so
Yeah,
much.
appreciate you taking the
Yeah.
time today.
Bye-bye.
All righty. All right. So Rose, just for my information, how do we verify then payroll?
Payroll, we don't verify for contractors. We only verify payroll for the actual employees of the job, of the project.
And is that because that's impossible to do?
No, it's just because it wasn't something that they've committed to. So like if they did commit to prevailing wage, then that would be different. And so I have no idea how to speak to that. That would be my dear Jimmy. But like I know if we had prevailing wage, that would be taken care of by Loki Brill, but also Mike has said the union is very much on top of it if it's union work, right?
It doesn't have to be union work or not in this situation. You simply ask, is everyone here an employee of Baxter or whoever? We want a full list of subcontractors, including independent 1099 subs. It's not hard. You just got
Right.
to tell them what you want and have them sign
Yeah,
off on an affidavit. And if they're lying, then they're lying.
Yeah, what Jimmy's alluding to also is that you see, hypothetically, you take a contractor, he hires 10 guys, okay? He puts a bid in for the price and then he creates them all as individual subs and they're all DBA, So therefore, they're not actually paying any insurances.
Right.
And that's where that's where the problem occurs,
Yeah. It's all hidden.
So would this be better to start in governance or in audit? Probably governance.
Yeah, we could, I got language. We can get language together here and then present it back over to audit.
Okay.
I don't even know. Go ahead, Rose.
I was just saying, I'm wondering if that should be part of some of the changes that we start to look at with the it's just going to be the wrong term here, but like the local purchases policy, where like we look at all of that as a whole, or we could break it out separately.
Oh, it's a state issue. You're breaking the law if you're not paying what you're supposed to pay. And if we have a policy where we're asking people to declare and getting lists of whatever, then it's not a heavy lift. Nope. Are you a subcontractor or are you a 1099? Pretty simple. Same thing. That way you find out if the general contractor is not paying the right insurances. I'm telling you, you can't believe the amount of money it costs New York State every year.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll start with this in governance, and where we end up, whether it's an existing policy or something new that we add, we can make that determination. Okay. All right. Thanks. All right. So we're bouncing around the agenda here a bit, but if you could, on page 3, minutes from our last audit meeting on November 9th, take a look, and if there's any changes or comment about minutes.
I was surprised when reviewing these that we met in person.
No.
I was like, we definitely did, but it seems like so long ago.
Yeah.
I know. It was a long time ago compared to what's happened since then.
I know.
Rose, I don't know if this matters, but we do have a typo on today's agenda, if it matters.
Okay, where?
Under new business, we have A, B, 2 Bs. Should be A, B.
Yep, thank you.
Yep. I don't
Well,
know.
at least I skipped D. So
Yeah, that's cool. All right.
thank you.
All right. Do I have a motion regarding the minutes?
I'll make a
I'll
motion.
I'll second.
All in favor to accept the approved minutes from the last meeting? Okay. Aye. Okay.
Aye.
Great, thank you. All right, I need a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make that motion to go into executive session.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Rose, non-members of the audit committee should drop off. Is that
No, it's not necessary.
okay?
Oh, it's to go, you're going into executive session to review, I guess, staff timesheets.
Yes.
Oh,
Thanks,
okay.
Rose.